Good morning, everyone. I wanted to show you today how I feed my bees in the fall. We use these rapid bee feeders. They have like a little clear lid that has like little grooves inside of it that the bees can crawl up and down on. And this right here has got little grooves also where they can crawl up and down on that. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix 2 parts sugar to 1 part water. And what I like to do is I like to go to Walmart and buy the 25-pound bags of sugar. And then I'll pick up a food-grade 5-gallon bucket to put the sugar in to keep it from getting, or going bad actually, and then get a lid to go with it. That'll help. And one 25-pound bag will almost fill up this 5-gallon bucket. So let's get these 2 jars filled with sugar. And this is going to help the bees in the fall here. It's October right now in Florida. And I'm going to feed these bees for the next 30 days to see how much extra honey they can make for their honey store to get them through the winter. This will give them a little extra boost. And then that way, they'll have lots of food to eat during the winter. All right, so what we got is 2 jars, 2 quarts of sugar, 1 quart of water. I've heated the water to almost boiling, but not quite. You do not want to boil it. Let's go ahead and add the water to our pan. And then add our sugar. Mix that all up real good. All right. Let's grab a spoon. It's going to take a little while to dissolve, but once it does, it'll be ready to go. And the reason I'm not filling these all the way up, they will hold 2 quarts, but right now I want to see how fast they can drink it. So we're going to start with a pint in each side, or each feeder here. And then that way I can calibrate how much to feed them. I want them to be able to drink a whole feeder in less than a week, less than 7 days, so that the sugar water doesn't ferment or develop black mold or anything. And we're going to start off with a pint. Test it, check it in a couple of days, see how much they've drank, and if they drink it all real quick, we'll keep adding more and more to it until they can consume every bit of it in 1 week. And we're going to go outside in just a couple of minutes here and show you that as soon as this gets mixed up. Okay, I've been stirring this for a little bit, probably about 20 minutes or so to try to get it to dissolve. And let me clarify one thing. When I put the water in there from this jar, I had already preheated it on the stove to almost boiling. So if you saw me dump that in there and you thought that I needed to go back to the stove and heat it, that's not the way I was going to do it. I was just going to heat it up first, then add the sugar like you just saw. So it was preheated. And we've got it nice and stirred up, so let's go ahead and see how much we got. And a funnel definitely helps out. It looks like, okay, so we got a whole bunch of extra, which is good. All right, so that theory of adding 1 jar of water to 2 jars of sugar was only going to make 1. That wasn't accurate. So what we're going to do is go ahead and add a quart to each one of these instead of a pint. We'll start our test off with quarts instead of pints. Let's go out to the hives and do that. Put some lids on them so I can carry them easier. Okay, so I'm out here at the hives, and we're going to go ahead and put our quart of sugar water, 2 to 1, in the rapid feeder. Stuff is very, very thick. It is almost like syrup. All right, 1 quart is quite a bit. Hopefully they can finish that in 7 days. We're going to find out. Go ahead and put your lid on. You need the lid on there, otherwise they're going to come over the top and they're going to drown in it. So keep that lid on there. And if you look at the bottom of it, you can see how it's got like a little lip right here. That's going to go down inside the inner cover, the hole in the top there. It won't fit perfectly flat in the inner cover unless you cut a round hole out, which I probably should do, and I probably will later. But right now we have those oval holes. So let's go ahead and put that in. Even a little closer, give you a better look. There's the oval hole in the top of the inner cover. And they're already coming out the top, so we're gonna slide this in real nice and gently. If you want to check to make sure you got it over, you can look down inside there and you can see that it's directly over the top of the hole in there. And then go ahead and put the lid back on. All right, they have got a lot of food now. That'll help them make a lot of honey. All right, guys, eat it up. Before I add the other one in, I wanted to show you something about these. Right here, there's a little groove in this thing. You can see the groove right there. If you were to have a hole cut out, a perfect hole that would fit that, probably about 1.5 inches or less, then this would fit flush. Right now, you can see it's riding above the top because it has that piece coming out right there. If you did have the hole in there, you'd want this little slot to be over the top of the oval hole. So the oval hole would be right here, and then you'd cut a circle hole out right there so it'll fit flush and level. That's probably what I'm going to do, and that right there will allow it to breathe. That'll be sitting directly over the oval hole, and that'll give it a little ventilation. I wanted to point that out in case y'all were wondering what that little indentation right there was. So that's something to keep in mind. So let's go ahead and do the other one. And I really hope they can drink all this in 7 days or less. If not, I just added way too much or made too much at one time. So let's just hope. We're gonna do a test. We'll see. In 7 days, I'll come back and check and see. So let's go ahead and put this in here. Make sure it fits nice and tight. Go ahead and put your lid on it if you want to so you don't slosh it everywhere. And then let's go ahead and add it to this hive over here. And these guys are just all hovering around the top there. Kind of get this camera where y'all can see a little better. There you go. Okay, so what I would do, which I probably will do in the future here, is put me a little hole, probably off to the back right here. Drill a hole right there, about 1.5 inches, and then that little vent will set over the top of that so the air can come in and ventilate. I guess that's optional, but it doesn't fit very flush when it sits in there, so that's maybe a concern. You don't want to topple it over and spill a whole quart down inside the hive. That'd be very bad. So let's go ahead and get that in there. Sorry for all the camera movement. I know y'all hate that. I know I hate it. So we're just going to go with the system as it is right now without any modifications, and we're just going to set that directly over that hole. And I'm going to peek down in there, and I can see that it is directly over that. I pulled it to the back side of it. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let's do this. Let's pull it to the back and let's spin it around and put the little vent towards the front. No, the vent won't get up there. It's too far away. But that's okay. I'll drill a hole right about in that area right there. And then I will set it in there, and it'll be set nice and flat and flush. And it won't be wobbly. And then I'll move it to right there over the top of the oval hole. All right, so it's set up, good to go. They'll figure that out. It's all a new system to them. They don't know it's there yet. This is the first time they've been fed from the top. I usually feed them from the front, but this will help keep the bee robbing, or the honey robbing, down to a minimum. All right, it's day 4. And I want to see what's going on in here. I can't tell how much fluid's left or sugar water's left in there without lifting that lid. And I feel like if I lift the lid, they're gonna all fly into it. So, oh boy, here we go. Let's just try it real fast and see what we can do. Empty. Oh my God. They drank 1 quart in 4 days. Here's the other side, the other hive. This hive does not have any activity hardly at all in here. Let's see how much they've drank. They've drank not all of it, but that's just maybe a quarter cup in there at the very most. So they're going through this stuff extremely fast, which means we don't have to worry about changing it out every 4 days because they will drink it every 4 days. So we're good. I also wanted to point out that it has rained for 3 days straight. So they've all been stuck inside this hive. So I'm assuming that's why they went through it so fast. It's because they didn't want to go out and hunt for pollen or anything. They just wanted to stay home and drink. And that's exactly what they did. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. Y'all hit like and subscribe on the way out, and I really appreciate it. Thank you, guys.